Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the playoff. I'm sorry, not play-ins, playoff stage for DZG Olympus versus Catalyst Wraiths in the Summer Aegis Protectors League. My name is Imphonic, and I'm joined today by the wonderful birthday girl Faye. How are you doing today?
Oh, thanks, Symphonic. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing the best we can, and we're excited for some crazy in-game action today as we got, again, Olympus trying to play for their playoff lives, and we're already live into pick and ban itself. And we're seeing a lot of jungle bans already. We're seeing Viego, Xin Zhao, Volibear definitely thinning out that jungle pool already, along with a Cassiopeia ban. Respects over there to our resident mid laner, Mobster Penguin. So now we're just going to have to see what the rest of the bans are going to be like.
They're hovering on an Orianna ban. There it is. Trying to take away the important and main control mages from their mid laner is really, really important as he's been consistently performing really well on all of his control mages. I'm guessing if they don't pick for him early, then they're going to lose all of his champion pools, which means they're probably going to lean on that Rise as a crutch again.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, Mobster Penguin here in the mid lane definitely been one of the star players for DZG Olympus here, putting in a lot of work as we see. He's drawing those two first place bans, banning out pretty standard things that you don't necessarily see banned out in the first phase. You would normally get rid of a lot of the power picks, and a lot of the power picks are still available. And Catalyst Wraith is actually going to take Tristana, which opens up DZG to take a couple of power picks available. The Varus is still available. The Ashe is raised in popularity. The Xayah, which is going to be an Insta-lock that got that another buff, and it's actually going to be DZG locking in that Lovers Duo, the Xayah Rakan bot lane. Really not afraid of what Catalyst Wraith could bring in with a counter pick for support. So now we're going to have to see what Catalyst Wraith want to pick up here.
I'm really liking this Rakan Xayah early show just because Rakan with Xayah does offer him a lot more maneuverability throughout team fights and throughout the majority of the game, especially during those crucial fights in the lane phase. Being able to get in and get out a lot more reliably, especially with so much more range on his dash.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely the lovers lane for a reason, and I mean, they feed off of each other quite well, and it looks like Catalyst Wraith is going to go for the Nautilus, something to look to maybe CC the Xayah. However, I mean, Xayah does have Featherstorm available, so that depth charge is not necessarily going to be the easiest thing to land on that Xayah, but it is going to provide a lot of CC and a lot of peel for this Tristana. It really allows Catalyst Wraith to play as aggressive or as safe as they want to in this bot lane, and I can only assume it's going to be a more of aggressive jungle pick, but no. Catalyst Wraith actually wants to take this Mordekaiser right away for Pagorok in the top lane. They are wanting to immediately secure themselves AP top, which means they might be looking for something more AD-oriented in the jungle or in the mid lane. We're going to see if DZG can respond with something in kind for Tofu in the top lane, or Tony in the top lane. And yeah, it looks like they're going to match this top lane pick as well. And they're going to go ahead and take the Shen here. A solid pickup, not necessarily the craziest pick into Mordekaiser, as Mordekaiser can ult the Shen mid ulti and actually stop the cast of the Stand United. But later on, I mean, it is going to be a viable split push threat that is going to be able to match up this Mordekaiser and not necessarily lose out in the damage per damage trade.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what they're going to be able to pick for Scoops now, because since they didn't pick him early, they're going to finish banning out his main roster, which means Aiden's going to need to pull out something from the back burners here. They will be taking Hecarim away instead, which is a champion Power of Ether has been getting really, really good at lately. Neither jungler has been picked yet, so really interested to see what they're going to pick for the jungle and mid matchups for the last two bans here, or picks here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, thinning out this jungle pool is once again going to be a big issue potentially for DZG, as it is becoming significantly more difficult for DZG to find a comfort jungle pick here for Power of Ethernet in the jungle. It's definitely going to be, like you said, dipping into that champ pool quite heavily and trying to find something here that can really influence these lanes or provide what DZG wants here. And yeah, they're continuing to target that champ pool now in the jungle. That's going to be 5 jungle bans from both sides, or combined from both sides. So really, I mean, there's the option of leaving this jungle pick for last and looking to take mid lane here, and maybe just giving DZG an opportunity to see what kind of counter pick jungle they have. But something tells me this is just going to be a simple jungle pick here, maybe leaving the counter pick mid, and we're hovering in a Mumu. It did get I want to call it a questionable buff, definitely a nerf and a change to his Q, and yeah, they're going to lock that in. They're going to pick up massive amounts of CC with that Curse of the Sad Mummy with the Amumu.
Uh, I'm not too sure how I'm feeling about the synergy with the comp here. The only real follow-up I'm seeing with that Amumu ulti right now is going to be the Rakan's entrance here. But I'm not too sure what else. What do you think, Symphonic?
Yeah, Amumu here is interesting. It's definitely, I feel like it's going to be more used as his own tool. It's going to be used to kind of keep CW a little bit more at bay, as right now they're really just going to be playing into whatever aggression that Catalyst Wraiths want to do. I mean, Zaya excels in playing into aggression and being put, not necessarily overextending, but being able to have the enemy team play into her range. And I mean, the Zaya Rakan and even the Shen do that quite well. Picking the Amumu makes me think that they, one, are dipping pretty deep into that champion pool, and two, they're using it more for the utility, the CC that it's providing, the damage over time, the magic resist reduction. But Catalyst Wraith did lock in that Rise, which is, again, that Scoop's favorite pick, so it does leave us with minimal options here, and as the Zac is going to be locked in, and it's going to be even more aggression from the side of Catalyst Wraith, trying to get onto that backline.
I'm actually expecting a Seraphine pick here from Scoops, because from what I've been seeing, I think he's been practicing her quite a bit recently.
Yeah,
And
Seraphine
she
would
is
not be
open.
bad. Yeah, Seraphine would not be bad here. I mean, it definitely gives DZG a tool to disengage. It also gives a future tool for re-engage should Catalyst Wraith not play their engage comp correctly here. Things like the Vladimir are also available here if they want to go scaling into scaling. So it's really going to be up to Scoops here, and it's actually going to be a
Ooh.
twisted fate. That's interesting. Going for the double global comp, really looking to put that pressure on the side lanes, maybe looking for 5-man dives in the bot lane or providing that split push and really relying on the Zaya Rakan duo and the it's
Oh,
gonna
it's
be actually
Veigar.
be a Veigar. Okay, so I mean, if it
I
is
actually still
Veigar,
kind of like
yeah.
that. Really good zoning tools. Complement the cage will complement the Amumu ulti really well. Scales nicely. Good damage late game. They just had to get him to the point where he can scale. That's like the only real caveat there. But both teams want to scale anyways. It's just gonna be a matter of who scales quicker, I suppose.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the Veigar does give him a bit more scaling than Twisted Fate would have. It also gives him that the baby cage there to try to delay some of the engage tools that Catalyst Wraith have available to them. It will also provide them just a little bit more. It kind of forces them more into that disengage. It's the idea of we're going to allow CW to engage onto us. We have all these tools available to CC you and allow Zaya to just kind of DPS, because Zaya is really going to be the hard DPS of the team if Veigar doesn't get a chance to scale. Later on, they will have a lot of bursts available, a lot of lockdown as well to allow that burst to happen. But realistically, in the early to mid game, in any kind of team fights that are taken before the Veigar really gets rolling, it's really going to be reliant on that Zaya DPS, and it's going to be DZG relying on CW to really play into that Zaya range and not forcing Non in the bot lane to really over aggress.
Yeah, but I think Zaya's a really good pick once she hits 6. Put a little asterisk in there once she hits 6 about the over aggressing, because if she finds herself in a sticky situation with Rakan hopefully by her side, she can get her way back out of that sticky situation with the ulti.
Yeah, absolutely. No, without a doubt. I mean, they do definitely have a lot of tools available to create space for the Zaya here. Zaya is also one of the most wonderful champions at self-peeling, with the Featherstorm available. And with the amount of time that the rest of DZG will be able to buy, it should be possible for the Zaya to be a very big threat to CW. It's really just relying on DZG to recognize these engage opportunities, especially early. The Zac definitely going to be a little bit more active than the Amumu early. Has a lot of different angles of approach that might not necessarily be stopped right away early. I mean, Zac excels at getting those interesting angles with the elastic slingshot and being able to find really good gank opportunities when you're least expecting it. So it's really going to be on DZG to not get for lack of a better term, to not get steamrolled early and really allow themselves enough time to become this viable mid to late game threat. But CW does have the Rise available, so it is going to be one of those things where the Rise and Tristana do have that scaling factor along with the Veigar and the Saya from DZG. So we'll have to see. It'll be. I feel like this is going to be a very bloodbathy kind of game. I feel like CW has to play aggressive in order to get DZG on the back foot. If not, DZG is going to be comfortable just scaling up and letting CW kind of fizzle out.
I agree. If I think what it is going to boil down with this game is who can get their carries ahead quicker and who can take the lead and maintain it. Because yes, getting the lead is important, but being able to keep it is just as, if not more important.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I mean, the tempo of the game and just the kind of scales can tip in either favor, especially if either team finds good fights, finds good objective control. I mean, Dragons, Rift Heralds, and Barons are all in the mix here, as it's really going to be what team can kind of keep up the tempo, keep up the pace, and really push to finish this game. Um, But yeah, taking a look at some of the matches as we have a little bit of time left before the spectator delay. I mean, top lane, like we mentioned, it's going to be a split push matchup later on. Mordekaiser does have the option or the ability to stop the Shen both with the pullback as well as the Death Realm ulti. Zac and Amumu are going to be looking to influence lanes as best as they can. Both have a very strong level 6. Mid lane is a scaling mage matchup with the Rise having the upper hand in terms of wave clearing early and being able to roam around with his jungle potentially. And then we have the bot lane matchup. Tristana Nautilus can play very aggressive into the Xayah Rakan, especially early before the Featherstorm is available to them. And Xayah Rakan, I mean, do have the option of playing relatively safe if they need to, and letting the Tristana Nautilus come to them, and looking for potential re-engages or even counter engages with the help of an Amumu or a Shen ulti available later on at level 6. But with that in mind, we are going to be going into the spectator delay, but don't go away. We'll be back in about 3 minutes to see our first game of the play-ins of the Aegis Protectors League between DZG Olympus and Catalyst Wraith.
Good
Well, oh,
evening. Oh
All you, all you.
No, oh, me?
No, you're the birthday girl. It's all you.
What? I don't like the birthday privilege. You're making me on the spot. What the heck? Good evening. Welcome to the first game of the CW versus DZG. Here we are heading on to the Rift, and we're seeing pings from the blue team straight down the mid lane. Looking like they're going to go through mid into the bottom side jungle.
Absolutely. Dictator Shruff here is going to get spotted out by Mobster Penguin, but it looks like the rest of CW are kind of sneaking around. They are going to be spotted by Support here. Support's actually walking in. Not going to be able to level up right away. Does use the Grand Entrance to get away. Is forced to flash off out of the river into his own jungle, and that's unfortunate. It looks like there might have been just a bit of miscommunication or maybe just a bit of a lack of awareness there. Support kind of walked into 4 of them, and that's very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, but they did get the first blood, which is very important. That just means that they have to play very, very safe now in the bot lane, and they don't want to try and push too far forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And Power of Ethernight's also actually going to get caught out here, or get spotted here by Pagarok. So stealing this blue buff is not going to be an option, as we're seeing Zach actually rotate up to the top blue side as well. So should the top jungle duo of DZG want to stick around, they're going to be met with equal force here. But instead, it looks like Power over Ethernet is going to go ahead and start leashless Raptors instead, which, I mean, in theory, with Tantrum, it should be pretty easy to clear away. However, it is going to put him in a little bit of a position where he's not going to necessarily have that blue buff available to him right away, so he is going to be potentially a bit short on mana later on. But actually, we're going to see a scuffle in the bot lane. Support does not have flash. He's going to eat the explosive charge. He's going to actually pop. Ignite also blown here by Helper 08 on the Nautilus. So that's going to be Support going down below half health. Does have a potion available to him to start using should he want to. It looks like one of them was used here. So it is going to be a quick trade here as the bot lane of CW looking to assert some early dominance against DZG.
So, Symphonic, I'm dying to know. Looking at these lanes here in the game, what are you thinking right now? What are your initial thoughts as a coach?
As a coach, I think that the bot lane of DZG is going to have to be very careful, especially now that they've blown the flash. They need to look to just scale up and not take too much early aggression unless the Amumu's around. And by the way the Amumu's pathing, it looks like they're looking to influence top maybe a little bit more early before the Mordekaiser hits level 6. Because post 6, Mordekaiser's going to be able to turn any 1vx situation into a 1v1 in that death realm. So I feel like maybe that's what they're looking to do. Maybe they're looking to just play safe and scale up. While CW now with this early advantage are actually going to be able to get some vision into DZG's jungle and are going to be able to spot out that the blue buff was not done by the Amumu yet. I don't think that necessarily means that the Zac is going to look to play aggressive. However, he is on the red buff, so he could go over there once the Amumu is spotted. But, I mean, right now, unfortunately, it looks like DZG is going to be playing on the back foot as the bot lane of CW is continuing to press this aggressive position. But yeah, in terms of what I would like to see, I mean, we're going to have to see some of DZG to get some kind of advantage somewhere. They're happy to scale, but we also can't let CW really just take the lead or take the reins of the situation this early. As pings are going through, looks like mid lane might be the first gank available. Ooh, hook here onto the Xayah. Support's going to be forced to use the Grand Entrance. Flash is going to be used. Explosive Charge is ticking. And that is going to be the Cleanse used by Evil Zera. Kind of for no reason, but it is going to be Flash and Heal used as well as Exhaust by the side of DZG. It looks like this could potentially turn into a 3v3 situation as Power over Ethernet is pinging in. He's going to get the Gromp reset. He is going to get spotted here, which means that Zac and Nautilus are going to be able to invade here. Shady Gecko is going to just go ahead and spot Power over Ethernet here. The Q is going to miss, but the Nautilus hook is going to land. Power over Ethernet is going to be forced to smite early here. Flash going to go in. A bit of miscommunication here. Support looking to go back in. The Grand Entrance is going to miss. The Elastic Slingshot is going to land. The Bandage Toss is going to go back in here. Shady Gecko is going to be... Actually, the whole of CW is going to go ahead and flank here, and they're going to get a first blood here onto Power over Ethernet. That's going to be one kill. Support going to take a lot of damage here. Dictator Scruff looking to continue to go in, but in the top side, we're seeing action as well as Pagarok is taking a lot of damage here. Tony Lil is going to go ahead and stop that, but Shady Gecko is actually going to go ahead for the full dive here. It has the passive available, is going to pop here, and they are going to pick up a second kill. Bot lane of DZG going down, or at least Support is, and that's going to be a 2-for-0 for the side of CW already at the 4-minute mark.
That was a really unfortunate fight for them, especially because, like we were just saying, the early game in this game is going to matter a lot to the tempo and who's going to ultimately be able to have more, like, you know, leeway in this game. And with CW already taking a big lead like this, I would be very, very concerned if I was Olympus right now. We need to start looking for a way to get into this game and get some sort of precedence on the map.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this play in the bot lane is very early aggression. Actually, we're going to see a grand entrance once again. Helper taking 2 turret shots. This could be a kill, but it is going to be the explosive charge being used on Pepsi Time. Pepsi Time does not have any mana available, is not going to be able to use really anything available to him at all. Both the Blade Caller, not enough mana to recall those feathers, and really CC Helper there, but it is going to be a potential regank opportunity here as we see Shady Gecko going back into this bot lane. It is going to get sputtered out on some wards, though, so it is going to show that the bot lane focus is still going to be heavy here, but Shady Gecko is just going to ignore all this vision and is going to go ahead and force support and Pepsi Time off a turret, but it looks like the aggression is going to continue. Evil Zera is going to go ahead and flash in. It is going to be Pepsi Time getting knocked up. The explosive charge is going to be enough. That is going to be a kill going over to Evil Zera. Support does have the cooldown available, is going to be able to take that grand entrance out of there, but it is going to be another kill and a continued focus by CW on this bot lane, really making sure that Pepsi of Time and support cannot play the game.
They're doing whatever they can to make sure their bot lane will not have any form of leeway in this game, and they're doing a really good job of it. Shady Gecko was really, really determined to get that gank in down there, and by golly, did he get that gank in down there?
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. I mean, this early game, like you said, is going to be really important right now, and I mean, with everything that's being blown, I mean, it's really... It's a really good use of having all those summoners being blown in the bot lane in those first initial fights. I mean, knowing that both Pepsi of Time and support weren't going to have that flash available makes them really easy regank targets. And unfortunately, until they're level 6, they don't really have those disengage tools available, like the Featherstorm and the Battle Dance. They just don't have those available to them to be able to disengage or create enough time for them to be able to resist those dives that they just experienced. And it looks like Helper now is going to get a really good roam. Mobster Penguin below a quarter health. Helper's walking in. That hook is available. The cage is not. The flash is going to come out. Mobster Penguin forced to flash defensively. Power over Ethernet. Not in the best spot possible. Is potentially going to get collapsed here. That's going to be the root, and that's going to be the Elastic Slingshot. That's going to be another kill picked up by Shady Gecko. That's going to be 4-0 right now at 7 minutes. ZW taking full control of this game.
They have taken full control of this game. However, I'm still going to hold out hope for Olympus to be able to find their way back into their game. They've done it before, and I am very confident they can do it again. I think they just need to find a way to put the brakes on the whole kibosh right now.
Yeah, absolutely, but it's really going to be on how hard can they slam those brakes, and can they stop the momentum that CW has built up. I mean, they're not stopping. We just saw another gank in the mid lane, this time forcing the Stand United from Tony Little in the top lane. Aggression continues here as the rocket jump into the explosive charge is going to bring Pepsi Time down to below half health, and that is, once again, putting a bit of a damper as the CS lead continues to grow. Now 20 CS on Evil Zera over Pepsi of Time, and they're not stopping. We're seeing Dictator Scruff and Shady Gecko looking for another dive here in the bot lane. Shady Gecko is going to get spotted on that red ward, but what they don't know is going to kill them here. Dictator Scruff is here as well. Heal being blown. Support's going to get 2 knocked up with the grand entrance. That's going to be a flash, and that's going to be the pullback. Evil Zera picking up another kill. Jump coming in. Hook is landing. Support is going to be forced to blow the flash here and is going to be able to get out, but that's going to be another kill and another successful dive by CW. 5-0, and Evil Zera picking up his 2nd kill of the game, and my goodness, this CW team is insanely active in these first 8 minutes.
They are doing really well with rotating to exactly where they need to be and making sure they get something for it. It doesn't help that Olympus isn't providing good enough vision around that side of the map for them. At this point, when they're so weak and they've shown that they're so vulnerable, you would imagine they'd be putting a little bit more vision and being a little bit more wary of where the Zac could be on the map. Especially with how well he can gank from so far behind you and the range he has on ganking. That tower isn't going to really help you that much at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's seemingly like DZG is just being suffocated in their own jungle as well as we start seeing some of the vision control being laid down. We're seeing deep wards in the DZG blue jungle, and we've been seeing a lot of interesting pathing choices as well, as we saw Dictator Scruff take a really long way and not get spotted by the red ward that did spot Shady Gecko, but these wards are just not doing enough to deter the CW from continuing their aggression. Another Elastic Slingshot's going to land. That is going to be the blows right there, and that is going to be another kill picked up by Dictator Scruff. The teleports are coming in. It is going to be a double teleport by the side of DZG. That's going to be a Curse of the Sad Mummy is going to lock up 3 of them, and that's not enough damage, so it's Power over Ethernet. It's going to go down. DZG's bot lane being really the only damage available to them. Actually, it was the top lane and the support. The real damage was really only the Amumu there. So it just was not enough. Helper's going to get hooked here, or is going to hook in here, but Pepsi of Time on the wrong side of this is going to get knocked up. It's going to be forced to use the Feather Storm, and the Flash going to lock up too. Support's going to be forced to walk away. Torn Little on the wrong side of the fight here is going to be forced to flash in, but it's going to be a kill picked up by Pepsi of Time. Is going to pick up one here. Death Charge coming through. Pepsi of Time forced to eat it, getting away from support so he doesn't get knocked up. Elastic Six Shot coming through again, and that's going to be another 2 kills picked up by by CW, and that's going to effectively be a 4-for-1 for the side of CW, extending their lead now almost 7K in 10 minutes, and this aggression will not stop. They are refusing to let DZG breathe for even a moment.
That was really unfortunate for his support too. He was so out of that, but he turned around to try to be the hero his ADC needed, but sadly he was not prepared.
Another Elastic Slingshot going over the wall. Mobster Penguin playing a little aggressive is going to be able to dissuade the continued aggression, though, as Pagarok is too low to follow up. But my god, they're just not giving them room to do anything here.
Yeah, you're completely right. Like, this Zac is just really good at being all over the map and getting off these really good ganks. His presence right now is insane compared to Tony's right now, or Power of Ethernet's, my bad.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Zac is 10 for 10 in kill participation so far. 4 kills, 6 assists. Has been part of every single one of these aggressive moments. Helper once again in the mid lane, only level 6, but support unfortunately has been forced to rotate to these plays very frequently, and on the back foot at that is actually still sitting at level 5, does not have access to that battle dance just yet, and is really just missing this key ability to continue to disengage. Evil Sarah is going to go ahead and be playing aggressive. Shady Gecko going in with the Elastic Slingshot. The hook is going to land. It means that the turret shots are actually going to go onto Evil Sarah, as the aggression was still there. I'm sorry, the aggro was still there from the explosive shot. Dictator Scruff here is going to get potentially cut out here by the Event Horizon. The bandage shots is going to land. The CC chain is going to be enough, and Mobster Penguin is going to pick up another kill onto the Dictator Scruff, but that is going to be another kill picked up in the top lane. In the bot lane, meanwhile, the Death Room has been used. Pepsi of Time does not have Feather Storm available just yet. Just a few more seconds. Not enough. Pagarok going to pick up his second kill of the game, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 for the side of CW. They are racing against the clock, though, as they're trying to take up this top lane turret, but DZG is able to pick up this Rip Herald and use it in the mid lane to hopefully secure their first turret of the game, putting them hopefully at an even point of 1-1, and hopefully reducing that gold lead that CW did have. Taking a look, it is still a little bit under 7K, so they've at least made up so far, but the Realm Warp is actually coming in as well. Pagarok continuing to chase here. This is going to be a 3-for-3, but the Event Horizon is going to go ahead and go down, and that is going to be the disengage here. However, Shady Gecko looking to see what else he can find with that Elastic Slingshot. Will not find anything. That seems to be a full disengage now, unless they look to find power over Ethernet on this blue buff, which Mordekaiser is going to spot here. Trying to donate it over, we're not going to be able to in power Ethernet, forced to smite that blue buff. But finally, we get a bit of a lull, even though the siege continues now in the mid lane by Dictator Scruff.
You know, I'm going to say it, even though it's like 12-2, the gold lead isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It's still really bad, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Silver lining?
Silver lining, I mean, 7K is a lot, don't get me wrong, but at 13 minutes, there's still potential to come back. I mean, it would take a lot of stalling and a lot of mistakes from the side of CW in order for DZG to be able to kind of claw their way back up. But it is possible. I have seen it, and I'm sure a lot of us have seen it in many levels of play.
I've been in it.
So it's absolutely, exactly. So it's definitely still possible. This dragon, second dragon of the game, is coming up in 20 seconds. It does look like DZG is going to be forced to give this up, as they really do not have control of the river nor their own blue side jungle in terms of vision. And it looks like CW is going to be looking to make one last play here before this dragon spawns, but Mobster Penguin and support have been able to read it. Ooh, Hook going just a tad bit wide there. But it is going to be potentially the secure of this dragon. And yeah, DZG do not feel comfortable trying to go into any of this right now. And they're just going to be content securing some farm, making sure their turrets don't go down, and saying, you know what, the second dragon, we can give this up. It's not soul point yet. It's not their soul. It's only number 2. We can go ahead and give ourselves a little bit more time to scale up. And God, that is what they need to do right now, is try to slow this game down and give themselves an opportunity to get back into it.
Like I said, they just need to slow the pace of this game in any way that they can. And if they can do that and they can buy themselves a little bit more time to scale, that's what they need to do right now. Get power spikes. Oh,
yeah, Shady Gecko's going to get caught out here. Potentially the Grand Entrance is going to go ahead and knock up a lot of CC here. Shady Gecko's actually going to get interrupted by this Elastic Slingshot. The ultimate's going to go ahead and come out. Mobster Penguin not going to be able to pick up the kill with that, but it is going to be given over, or I guess, fought over by DZG, and the shutdown's going to go over to Pepsi of Time. 2 for 4 now. Big shutdowns coming through. I mean, that's going to be reducing that gold lead back down to below 7K. And I mean, that's a really good pick. They were able to find him out. Tony Little sitting here in this bush, though, is going to be able to drop a ward, but is, I guess, going to let Dictator Scruff walk away. Does not have enough resistances here to kind of take a fight here with Dictator Scruff. So we're going to go ahead and just try to secure that wave up in the top lane. And again, just pick up resources where we can, scale up, find picks like we did here. And that's really all we can do. Support, though, sitting on a ward here. He's going to get pulled back. He's going to be forced to flash, use the grand entrance to get away. But that is going to be a pick mitigated. But now the siege is going to go on in this mid lane. 4 versus 2. Power Ethernet's going to look his way to make it over here. But the turret is not going to be long for this world. Minion wave not going to be enough, however. The turret is going to live on what I can only assume is about 500 health. And that's going to be just another wave away, especially with something like the Tristana being 2-0-2 from being taken down.
Yeah, and right now, I really want to see them try and go for this Tristana shutdown. I think that's really, really important for them to get it. Especially if we can put that more towards Scoops, because Oof. I think Scoops is their best bet getting themselves back into the game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The benefit here comes from DZG's. I mean, unfortunately, they only have 3 kills, but a lot of this, all 3 of these kills and majority of the gold, including shutdowns, have gone over to the carries, both to Scoops and to Pepsi of Time in the bot lane. So, I mean, the members of DZG that need this money to accelerate and to be part of the game have been getting it. The Depth Charge was using the mid lane onto the Vigor, but he was able to disengage here. But I don't know if he's going to be able to hold this turret here. Taking a lot of damage there, Helper is, but it is going to be a jump coming in from Evil Zera. Going to get the explosive charge. Not going to get a lot more after that, though. The shield's going to be enough to mitigate most of this damage, but that is going to be the mid lane turret taken down. DZG might be looking for something here, though, as they are posturing quite aggressively. However, power over Ethernet is going to get spotted on this ward here. Shady Gecko looking to contest these Raptors here, but it looks like without his team here available, DZG, they might be able to spot this out and do something, but it's going to be the smite used by Shady Gecko by Power over Ethernet to secure that big Raptor. And overall, again, CW really not giving DZG a chance to even farm their jungle without it being contested here. But they are buying enough time, DZG is, and they are slowly getting back into this. We see another mythic item picked up by Tony in the top lane, picking up that Frostfire Gauntlet. So at least in terms of mythics, they're only 2 behind. Amumu shouldn't be too far gone from that, and the support item is probably going to be the one that they're waiting on the longest. But this next dragon might be where they want to maybe look to pull the trigger before these item leads get any further, as we see Evil Zera also finishing up the Phantom Dancer here. So really, it's this Tristana that has the largest lead in terms of items right now. So it's really going to be on DZG to find a good time to fight and to potentially be like, hey, you know what, this is going to be the best time for us to fight, and just identify a good time to do that. Because right now, while they can stall out the game, it just makes it a little bit harder to find opportunities like that. As we're seeing a fight go on in the top lane, Tony Little going to lose half his health here. Mobster Penguin is here available. He's going to be looking for that Event Horizon, just a little shy on that. Dictator Scruff going to be able to walk away there. But it is going to be rotation in the top lane with this dragon coming up in just another minute.
Right now, what I'm kind of hoping that they can do is try to get at least one more mythic out before this dragon fight. I think if they can't do that, this dragon fight's gonna be a little scuffed, but it's certainly not doable. I think they need to get there first, though, to establish priority. Yeah,
Power over Ethernet here might get caught out here. Is going to be rooted up. Is going to be knocked up by the Elastic Slingshot. Full combo being used to take him down. Sang Nag going to be used to save Power over Ethernet. The Curse of the Sad Mummy is going to be enough to root down 2, and that's going to be 2 for 2, or 2 for 1, I'm sorry, so far. Support very low here. Pepsi of Time is also being forced to go into the fight because of the Death Rum, and that's going to be a 1 or 2 for 1 so far. For the side of CW, Tony Little maybe not paying as much attention as he should be. Is going to be forced to flash here. Not going to be too long for this world, as Dictator Scruff is likely going to catch up. Realm Orb going to be used. The taunt's going to be used. Tony Little with these happy feet, but that's not going to be enough, as Scruff is going to pick up the kill in the top lane. And that's overall going to be a 3 for 1 for the side of CW. The Dragon not even on their radar anymore, so they're looking to siege up this mid lane with this Rift Herald. Likely looking to break down this mid inhibitor, or at least as much as they can. Questionable at most if they want to break this down. It is going to give DZG the opportunity to soak up some of these super minions, but it is going to make sure that they can secure this dragon right here and put themselves on soul point, as well as have a inhibitor down for when this Baron spawns in just about a minute.
We're seeing we're seeing them already on the dragon. Olympus isn't there to establish their priority. I think they end up having to give up the 3rd dragon, but They have to fight for the 4th one. I think that if CW gets this Dragon Soul, the game's virtually over for them. I can't see them coming back from it just because of how strong the Infernal Soul is. It's really strong. It's a game changer, and I don't think at this point where they're at, they have a way to deal with it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, it's the Infernal Soul on a lot of damage threats from the side of CW. I mean, they have the Rise, the Tristana, the Mordekaiser. All three of them are going to be benefiting from that percentage increase, both their AP and AD, as well as the burn effect or the burst effect from the Dragon Soul on their auto and spells. So, I mean, it is going to make it very difficult for DZG to stand a chance into some of these more team fights. They had an opportunity there with that fight that they picked up in the river. It's just unfortunate that Pagarok was able to find his way into that backline and ult the Xayah and force her out of the fight. Should she have been able to fight, I feel like they would have been able to clean up that fight with the Curse of the Sad Mummy, with the CC that was being put out or outputted by support and Mobster Penguin. But unfortunately, it was not enough. And as soon as possible, I would really like to see Pepsi of Time look to invest in a QSS, as it seems like Pagarok is finding them now more than once. So it might be a necessary investment, even with the CC that they do have available from the Nautilus, from the Rise, again, the Mordekaiser, just to stay in these fights and be the DPS that DZG needs right now to get a little bit more scaled up. Because, I mean, Vigar's sitting on one item, and while he is scaling up with AP, right now their main source of damage is going to be Pepsi Time right now, sitting on 2 items. So with how this game is going, that's really going to have to be what they're going to be looking for. This next dragon coming up in 3.5 minutes. Vision being cleared up right now by the Baron means that CW is either looking to take this Baron or look to threaten and force DZG to take an inopportune fight. But yeah, it looks like CW are going to be looking to take this Baron, and DZG is none the wiser right now.
Ooh, I am wondering what they're going to be able to do to try and recalibrate this game to try and get themselves in it, or if it's even too late.
Oh, Curse of the Sad Mummy's going to come out here. Stand United is also going to be used to keep Power over Ethernet alive. The Zack's going to go ahead and go over. The Baron is going to stay that low. Power over Ethernet does not have enough damage available. That's going to be a double kill picked up by Scruff in that jungle fight. That's going to be a 2 for 0, and likely the securing of this Dragon. Power over Ethernet, or Baron, I'm sorry, Power over Ethernet does not have a way to get back in. It's going to get hooked and is going to go ahead and go down. That's going to be a 3 for 0 for the side of CW. The Baron taken, and I'm sure a siege to follow.
Right now, they're just taking this game and just running away with it, and there's no way for them to really catch up to it. I dare say this game might be over unless DZG can really pull it together and get some really good fights out, and and get enough time for their carries to get 2 items. I think Veigar really needs his 2nd item to be super impressive to the game right now, and I think Xayah needed her QSS yesterday.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The engage coming through again. Shady Gecko actually going to force the flash here. And it is going to potentially put a stop to the siege in the top lane, as it is going to be a 2-0-3 here, as it's going to be 2 people sieging up that top lane. But now it looks like Zack's going to rotate down, try to empower these minions, as is the rest of CW, looking to empower these Baron and these minions to try to help them with this siege. Pepsi of Time really the only one here. Pagarok looking to see if he can do something. Teleport coming through. Mobster, I'm sorry, Tony Little trying to make something happen. DZG trying to make this work, but it is not going to be enough. It is going to be CW disengaging and giving Scruff plenty of time to continue the siege up in the top lane. Last slingshot coming through. That's going to be a 3-man root. The Battle Dance in the Grand Entrance is not going to be enough. That's going to be the Death Realm onto support. Featherstorm coming through, though. Not going to be enough here. It's not looking too great for DZG. That's going to be 1 down. Pepsi of Time trying to DPS as best as he can. Shady Gecko going to go down. Passive going to punch through. That is going to be support going down to the Tristana. So far, 2 for 2 for the side of DZG. They're going to be able to potentially stop this, but all the while, it's been Scruff in the top lane, not having a care in the world as he continues to siege his top lane. That's going to be top inhibitor taken down. That's going to be the first Nexus turret taken down as well. Event Horizon coming through, trying to delay as much as possible. Scruff not having a problem here in the 2v2 or the 2v1. He is going to force that flash as Tony Little's going to come through, but Evil Zera and Pagarok are going to go ahead and rotate over. That's going to be the second in Nexus turret taking down. This is an open Nexus. These are non-supers, but Baron empowered minions coming through. The rest of DZG is coming up. Pagarok staying too long. That's going to be a massive shutdown. Curse of the Sad Mummy going to be on his Evil Zera. That's going to be a double shutdown going over to Pepsi of Time. The chase is going to continue. Dictator Scruff is looking to get knocked up as well here. That's going to be a lot of CC. Can Scruff get away? No, he is not going to be able to, and that's going to be another kill picked up, but it is going to be traded. Support going to go down. Shutdown going over to Power over Ethernet. That's going to be an effective 3 for 3 for the side of DZG. But it is going to be both their Nexus taken down, top inhibitor lost as well. A lot of really good shutdowns picked up. but it is going to be what can they do right now before these supers come up, and if anything, it's going to have to be this dragon. They're going to have to take this and not give over the soul. It looks like that's exactly where DZG is going, and it's effectively going to be a 2v2 so far. Slingshot coming through. Shady Gecko going to miss. Event Horizon going to be a little bit short here. Bandit Shot's going to come through. Shady Gecko buying a lot of time here. Pagarok is up and available, walking his way over, and so is Evil Zera. If DZG want to do this dragon, they're going to have to do it now, but they're delaying, they're waiting, they're buying, I don't know what time, but Pepsi time is going to be here. This is a 3v2, but it's not going to be that for long as Pagarok and Evil Zera are making their way over. Teleport coming through as well. That's going to be a 3v5. DZG don't know what they've gotten themselves into. Pepsi of Time, Standing Knight coming through, Featherstorm coming through as well. Not in the best angle. Pepsi Time, the only one alive now. Tony trying his best to stay alive, but that's going to be a 4-for-0 for the side of CW, and you gotta know that that's going to be the game. Relmore coming through, and that's going to be a pick potentially to support, is going to use the Battle Dance, is going to be able to get over, but all that CW need to do now is hit that Nexus, and that is going to be game.
What a way to start game one. They got the lead early, they found their way to generate it, and they abused it, and they took the lead and ran away with it. Olympus didn't even really get a chance to try and gain any solid footing into this game. And by the time they're starting to try to be able to, it was way too late, which is really unfortunate, but I'm hoping that they learn from this and they clean it up for game two.
Yeah, it was all CW all game long from minute one. I mean, we even saw, the initial invade forcing that flash, and then they immediately abused that in the bot lane, both in the 2v2 and the dives that they were able to find in the early game, just to start abusing the fact that this bot lane did not have sums available. And it's unfortunate DZG was not able to find really any other lead anywhere else. Top lane was just two melee champions whacking each other, and in the mid lane, it was really the same. It was just two mages trying to scale up, but a lot of the lead that was able to be obtained in the bot lane by CW bled over into the mid lane as well, as we saw multiple roams from the support, multiple roams by Evil Zera on the Tristana, and just 4-man dives constantly, both bot and mid. And it just made it very difficult for DZG to buy enough time to scale up. And the one lane that didn't necessarily need to fully scale up, but was able to be kind of their source of contention for these team fights, never got rolling. The spot lane specifically just never got to do anything until later on. And by that point, it was just already too late. Desire was set enough behind to where she was a non-factor in the mid game. But like you said, I'm hoping that DZG really picks something up from this, maybe realizing that, scaling might not work against this team just because this team is playing aggressive. Maybe more defensive vision is necessary. Potentially more emphasis on jungle tracking, just so that they know where this jungler is, as he was a pivotal part as to how CW was able to get this early lead. And I think that is what's going to be necessary: a very strong jungle matchup and very strong tracking of this enemy jungler, so that they know where he is and DZG's lanes can feel safe wherever they are.
I agree completely. Like, this jungler, he was everywhere. It was hard for them to deal with him. His ganks were really good. His map presence was really good. And if they can't keep a track of him next game, I think the same thing that happened this game will happen again.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're going to have to wait and see. We should be getting rolling onto game number 2 very soon, so don't go away. We'll be back with game 2 of DZG versus CW in the Aegis Protectors League. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 of Catalyst Wraiths versus DZG. CW currently up one game already, and it is going to be the same sides for game number 2 as we're already underway for drafts. So we're going to have to see what DZG does differently this game, as they've actually brought in a new jungler. They've brought in Trajan here for this game number 2, looking to maybe get a different perspective this game and try to maybe allow power over Ethernet to maybe notice something that was not noticeable in game 2, and maybe we can look at game 3. But DZG looking for the strong game 2 to go into game 3, and right now we're once again looking at a lot of jungle bans. We're seeing the Volibear banned out again, the Casio, which was also banned out in game 1, and Viego on the side of DZG, looking to not give that one up.
Right now, seeing the bans coming out with the Cassiopeia, now this time with the Zac, I think the Zac ban is a really good ban here, especially with how impactful it was in the last game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it provided CW a lot of access to DZG's entire team, and it did help set up for those dives. I mean, it was able Shady Gecko was able to find angles to get through those turrets, to get past some wards, or even just engage from very far distances and not really allow the bot lane of DZG to react. Another ban, the Thresh stayed the same here, and it looks like CW is not really looking to shy away too much of what worked. If it worked, why fix it? And Tristana's going to be locked in, and DZG thinking the same. They're going to go ahead and take the Xayah here, and we're looking at almost a repeat of game 1. We're seeing the Lovers duo come out for DZG. We're going to have to see now if CW can adjust or can make some changes, as the Zac is not available to help with these dives in the bot lane. So we're going to see what CW looks to take here, as it was support and top lane last game, and it looks like it will be top lane again, as the Mordekaiser's being hovered here once more. Pagarok did some great work on that Mordekaiser top, so again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, you're right. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Mordekaiser didn't even really need much of a lifeline from his jungler. He just stonewalled the top lane, didn't let the Shen get any footing, and they are picking that Rise early away from Scoops again, so we'll probably see another Veigar pick if they don't ban it out.
Yeah, definitely not a bad pick here. I mean, it takes away, Scoops away from that Rise, something that he has been very influential in the Protectors League so far. It does take the ability away from picking that solo laner in R3 and banning out some things to protect it. So at this point, DZG is going to be left with a few options here. It's either you take your mid laner and you lose out on some top picks, which is what DZG is going to do, and they're going to take the Twisted Fate, which was something that Mobster Penguin has played. It does provide a lot of pressure and a lot more global pressure, along with that ultimate, some ability to go to the bot lane and go to top, maybe work with the jungler or even the top laner again to kind of influence some other lanes. Shen is available still for DZG should they want to take that double global. It was not terrible into the Mordekaiser, did not give up too much, did not the shields from the Sand United were effective, so DZG can take this. They are going to ban the Echo out, I guess, from the jungle at this point. It is going to be more jungle-targeted bans here, and that's actually going to continue, as the Hecarim's going to be banned out as well. And it looks like DZG does not want to leave that Nautilus available to be paired up with the Tristana, looking to make CW work more for their engage, banning out both these hook engage champions. Things like Pyke and Blitzcrank are available, so there's a couple of hook champions here, but there's a lot of other strong aggressive champions available, like the Leona, the Alistair. Those are just to name a few that can help with the dive, and the Shen is being hovered here as a potential ban and is going to be taken away from DZG. They will not have access to that double global that the Shen Twisted Fate can bring. So now it's really up to DZG to see, do they want to blind pick top? I mean, they're not even blind picking it because they know it's Mordekaiser. So this could be a Trundle flex. Trundle is a viable top laner, can do fairly well into Mordekaiser, as it can 1v1 in that death realm quite effectively. Can ult after the Mordekaiser ults to steal some of his stats back. So it does work fairly well if they want to flex in the top lane, and it is a strong jungler candidate as well. CW looking to pick up more of this lockdown as well with this Jarvan, looking to be able to just make it so that Xayah, Rakan aren't feeling too safe with what they can do, and maybe forcing the Xayah to Featherstorm out of more than one ulti now. We're going to have to see what CW wants to round up their comp here with. That would have to be a support.
I'm really intrigued to see if this Trundle is going to be the flex here or not. I know Trajan plays it, and he's really good at him from last time I've seen him play him personally. I don't know if that's changed. I doubt it. They do pick up that Leona, which you were talking about earlier too, which is really, really good for their comp. Like, this is another hard all-in comp, so With a couple of roster changes, I'm looking forward to seeing how Olympus can hold up to it this time, especially now that they know what to expect.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Skarner, and it's Skarner.
It's
But I know Tony in the top lane also plays Skarner, so this could be a big toss up. This could be an actual Skarner top. Captain Flowers would be proud right now to see some Skarner action, but it is still a potential flex. This could be a Skarner jungle. It does allow DZG to play more of a pick-oriented comp, look to take numbers advantage before they take any fights, which would put CW in an innate disadvantage by finding some of these picks before objectives, before sieging a turret, and things like the Twisted Fate with the gold card, and the Destiny Gate is an option. The Trundle with the Pillar to slow things down. Rakan with the Battle Dance and the Grand Entrance is also an option, so they do have the makings of a pick comp here. And it does allow, once again, for DZG to kind of play into CW's engage and really allow them to fight kind of once the fight's brought to them. But much like we were saying, we're going to have to see what this roster change does in order to really impact how CW played that game one, which was insane aggression, ruthless aggression, if you don't mind me saying. And it's just one of these things where, how do you stop that? I mean, Zach, yes, enabled a lot of what they did, but a jungler is a jungler. I mean, no matter what you put him on, Shady Gecko was doing mad work into this game one. So we're going to have to see what adjustments DZG can make to really give themselves some time, because even now, scaling for DZG is not really all there, aside again from the Xayah. So you're really putting a lot of these eggs into the Xayah basket to be able to get you to that mid to late game and really be the main source of DPS, and to be able to execute a pick comp against CW's very straightforward team fight comp.
What they're going to do is it
Yeah,
is
it is
going
going to
to
be a
be a
Skarner
Skarner
top.
top. I am looking. Oh gee. I wasn't expecting this tonight.
Nope.
Well, well, the thing is that if DZG can set up good vision before the objective happens, they could get the pick off that they need to be able to, win these fights, these crucial fights. But it's also hoping that they get the power to be able to do that too, and that they can get the footing. They at least need to stay even until that point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of the name of the game, right? They have to be able to stay even or find a way of getting ahead. They just have to prevent what happened in game number one from happening again. Um, they don't have as many disengage tools available to them anymore. You know, in game one, they did have access to things like the Shen, the Amumu ulti, the Vigar Event Horizon, or the Baby Cage. I mean, they had access to those kind of tools, where here it's really just relying on finding this numbers advantage. They have very many tools to find good picks. It's just going to have to be, can they play around strong vision to allow CW to kind of walk into a trap and to be able to find one of them? You know, they have good options. I mean, Tristana is squishy, Ryze is squishy early on. The Jarvan will likely be going Gore Drinker into Steric's Gage, or, I would assume Steric's Gage, so it does still make them relatively squishy. The one thing to keep in mind, however, is that CW has a lot of lockdown, so without enough vision, and if they don't know how many members there are walking into, let's say, a choke point or a pick opportunity, it just turns into CW hard engaging. And DZG needs to be careful of that, because they have a lot of tools to, or I'm sorry, CW has a lot of tools to make those engages really count with, Jarvan, Leona, Ryze, Mordekaiser. They just have all these tools available. So if I were DZG, I'm really banking on the fact that we're playing around strong vision control, and that we are going to force these picks to happen before major objectives, with the Twisted Fate, with the Xayah Rakan, with the Skarner if he's applicable. And it's a big adjustment, and I'm hoping the DZG is able to make it.
I think they can. It's all going to boil down to, again, them being able to find their footing in the game, and hopefully they can find it before CW finds theirs. That's going to be really crucial for them again. As well as knowing who they want to put the power into early. You are saying Xayah is going to be scaling, but Twisted Fate also scales very well too, so they're not relying solely on her. It's just going to be how well do they scale their carries into late game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, putting some early power into Twisted Fate is definitely a good option. Like you said, he does scale fairly well, and if he gets going early, that means he's going to be able to influence the rest of the map, and going to be able to make advantages happen for DZG. But with that, we're going to be going into the spectator delay, but don't go away. We'll be back in 2.5 short minutes to see Game 2 of DZG Olympus versus Callus Wraith in a hopeful 1-1 series, but we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everybody, to Game 2 of DZG Olympus versus Callus Wraith. Callus Wraith currently up 1-0 in this best-of-3 series for the Aegis Protectors League, and we are looking forward to some much-needed changes from DZG after Game 1 in terms of how they address the aggression that CW has brought to DZG. Both teams opting to stay on the same sides, DZG making that side selection, of course, and they're looking to hopefully mitigate a lot of what Shady Gecko and the rest of his team were able to do in this game one. So some team comp changes, of course. Pick comp versus the team fight comp that CW so rightfully drafted once again, aside from just the one jungle change. Everything stayed the same for them. And so far, both teams are just looking to 5-point here instead of that invade that CW had in game number one. So DGG looking to make sure that this game is run slow and steady and allows them to really get to the point where they can start utilizing both the Twisted Fate Global, the Skarner presence, the Zyra Rakan Lovers duo to get to those points where they can find those picks. But it is refreshing to not have to cast a level 1 here right away. So We'll have to see how this goes. As we did mention, we do have a Skarner top, as we're so candidly watching him right now secure the Spire and secure that 30 gold lead. So we're gonna have to see how it goes. As I'm unfamiliar with how Skarner top works.
Oh man, that sick 30 gold lead is really important, man.
Easy.
You just don't get
We're
it.
already winning. It's already over.
It's already over. They just don't even know yet. We're already at the victory screen. What victory screen? A victory screen. Which one?
A
It's not
victory.
important.
Not important. It could be this one. It could be the one after. It could be the one from yesterday. It does not matter.
It's just a victory screen, and all I know is that I'm seeing the blue. I'm getting that Dubsky.
The bot lane of CW did look for a little bit of a cheese here in the river bush, but did not find anything. So both junglers are actually going to end up doing mirrored starts, starting both with their respective blue buffs, which means both these junglers are looking to impact different lanes. Shady Gecko opting to influence his bot lane potentially once again, while Trajan looking to go into this top side jungle, or I'm sorry, this top side of the map, and maybe just looking to start alternate, or on the opposite side of Shady Gecko here. Both bot lanes here hitting level 2. Bot lane of CW does have the inherited advantage. The Zenith Blade is going to miss, which means that the bot lane of DZG can punish. The Grand Entrance also going to miss, which means both lanes can no longer punish each other and are just going to be content with farming. But the jump is going to come through. Explosive Charge going to land on the Pepsi Town. A very short trade here is going to chunk just a little bit here. As it is seemingly to be that this is a little bit more of a controlled game, but still with some signs of aggression, at least from Evil's era.
Looks like everyone's just going to be trying to take this game a little bit slower than last time, especially since we didn't find those early opportunities with that flash being blown early this time. Probably going to try and take it slow. I'm hoping they try to take it slow on the side of Olympus to try and buy time for their carries to scale a little bit more this time around.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah,
I'm definitely expecting that first fight to happen around the dragon, to be honest, in bot side.
Yeah, that would definitely make a lot of sense.
I feel like that's where we're going to see our first fight. Oh,
both junglers are going to be looking for something here. The flash is going to be expended here after the flag and drag lands, so that's going to be flashed down from Mobster Penguin along with half of his health, as we're seeing already early ganking from Shady Gecko. Trajan trying to find the same thing, but he's going to be able to secure that top Scuttle Crab, but that ward in the top river placed down by Pagarok is going to show him that Trajan is going back up to this top side, but we're going to see if the gank is going to continue. It looks like Pagarok is just going to immediately disengage here, and Trajan and Tony are not going to find anything up in this top lane. But a return gank seems to be happening in the mid lane as well, as it looks like Shady Gecko might find an opening here in the mid lane. Does not look like he was able to find it. Flag and Drag is going to go ahead and just be used defensively, and Mobster Penguin is going to be able to avoid something. But Pagarok is going to get knocked up by the pillar here. Trajan spending a lot of time. He's going to be able to force that flash out of Pagarok in the top lane. Going to be buying a little bit of more safety here. Pagarok going to face check the bush again. Not afraid to be in this Trundle's face. The trade's going into Pagarok's favor, though. He is going to be pulled back. Trajan taking a lot of damage here. Might be forced to flash here. The 2v2 is going to continue, though. Is kiting quite well. Pagarok is not going to be able to take the kill here. The flash coming out from Trajan, and that is going to be first blood. The fight is going to continue now in the bot lane. Evil's Era going to get knocked up. Is going to take a bit of damage here. Going to be forced to use some pots, but that is going to be first blood going over to Trajan on DZG. So a good start for DZG in game number 2.
A very good start. Getting that first blood is really good, especially on Trundle, where he is more of a bruiser. He can go tanky, but he still does a very good amount of damage. So I will never complain to seeing some early power coming down to the Trundle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to make him more of a menace. It already makes it difficult for J4 to duel him, as Trundle is one of the better duelists in the jungle. Another trade coming through. Rooted here. Evil's Era going to be forced to flash. He's going to get knocked up. It does mean that DZG might be able to turn on to Helper, but Helper doing a great job of dissuading Pepsi Time from doing much. Going to get a full Leona rotation and the Ignite to force him to go actually lower than Evil's Era. So the trade actually ended up going into CW's favor and goes further into their favor, as Evil's Era did have a pot to use. And Pepsi Time going to be forced to use that Biscuit of Rejuvenation to be able to get himself back topped up. It looks like a gank might be happening in the bot lane now. Mobster Penguin and Trajan here available. Rocket Jump going to be used. Flash going to be expended here. It looks like Helper is not going to find much. He's going to be able to find the Zenith Blade, though, and is actually going to be able to flash away Mobster Penguin, giving him an unwilling out. And Helper and Evil's Era are going to be able to get away. However, all sums being blown in the bot lane means that DZG's bot lane will have an innate advantage here. And that was another solid gank and rotation by the side of DZG.
It was, and they're doing really good at these rotations, which is good. We love to see that. Hopefully they can keep up with the good rotation, getting that pressure on the map, and more importantly than that, maintaining it. Maintaining it is going to be the big thing for them this game. I think if they can do that, and they can get all this early objective pressure as well, this game is going to be hopefully really easy for them to clean up quickly as long as they can remain in tempo.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're seeing DZG trying to maintain tempo, trying to just not give up any of the pressure. However, it does look like CW are going to be looking to sneak this dragon. It is going to get spotted here by Trajan and by Mobster Penguin. Mobster Penguin is going to be level 6, does have Destiny's Gate available. Level 5 for the Jarvan and the Leona only a level 4. Realm Warp's going to come through, though, and that's going to be a 2v3. I'm sorry, Pepsi of Time is going to be here. However, that's going to be a massive root coming out. That's going to be 2 kills picked up by Trajan on the Trundle, followed by Great Root. The jump is going to be forced out by Evil Zera. Dictator Scruff is going to get exhausted here. The cooldowns are coming through. The root's going to be available. Blade Collar coming through, and that's going to be a triple kill picked up by Trajan. All the kills going on to Trundle. That is one fed troll. However, that means that all the kills and resources are going over this Trundle, not necessarily the carries that DZG would want. So there is some solace to be found in this fight. However, that's going to be a 3-for-0 for the side of DZG, 4-0 overall, and going to be the first Wind Dragon secured by DZG.
The only thing I'd be a little bit concerned about right now for our DZG is making sure we do get some of these kills to our carries, as they're going to be the ones who carry us, hence the name, in the late game. So hopefully we can see Trajan just starting to back off some of these kills and making sure that the Xayah and the Twisted Fate can get some of that money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is definitely one of the things that CW can look forward to. I mean, the 4 kills being on the Trundle does mean that the Trundle is going to be fairly strong. However, it does not necessarily mean that he's going to be as innately tanky right away as he will be later. It does let the Trundle get to a power spike a lot sooner. However, it does mean that their carries are going to be in a more even spot in the lane matchups. But like you said, I would like to see Trajan start trying to donate some of those kills over. However, in the heat of the moment, that was a really good fight. We saw good rotations and good survivability by both the Trundle and the Twisted Fate, and even Pepsi Time being able to be a part of that fight. So overall, solid stuff by DZG. Tony in the top lane is going to go ahead and spot the Shady Gecko trying to take that Scuttle Crab. And overall, it looks like we're going to be going back to a bit of a lull state as this Herald has spawned and might be the next point of contention by both teams here, as we're seeing Tony Lil might get spotted out here. He's going to drop a ward onto that Scuttle Crab, so it's not going to be too possible for the side of CW to sneak away this Rip Herald.
Hopefully they can't get it. Hopefully they don't really get away with that. But looks like everyone is starting to kind of position around it. So I'm expecting maybe a little scrap is going to break out here soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looks like to be a 3v3 at the moment, but potential 4v4 is Trajan looking to catch Pagarok here. The Death Realm is available, and he is going to be looking to take Trajan into there. Not necessarily the best target here. Actually, it looks like he did not get to use the Death Realm. It was not available. I thought that's who he took. But this is still going to be a 4v2 as both the mid lane and the bot lane of DZG are stuck in their respective lanes. And it is going to be a securing of this first Herald by the side of CW, looking to make up this gold deficit that they currently find themselves into. With this first Herald, maybe looking to pick up some plates. It is going to be picked up here by Shady Gecko. It is going to be a rotation to this mid lane. Helper 08 might be looking to do something here as Mobster Penguin's looking to potentially step up. They're looking for the next play, but it is not going to be enough. They are going to get spotted out by this last minion dying, and it is going to show that Helper and Shady Gecko are going back to that bot side of the map.
Yeah, well, the words are hard. They got the objectives. They're going to disperse, go back to their lanes. Where are you expecting the jungler here to drop this Rift Trail now that they've gotten it? Which lane would you expect them to put it in?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. They'd have enough time to hopefully hold on until this next dragon or right before this next dragon spawns. Mid lane's always a great option, as that's the lane that could probably push a little bit faster than the Twisted Fate early. They might be able to, or at least at this point of the game, they might be able to get enough pressure to get that Herald to crash and force DZG to respond or lose the turret or lose more than just a couple plates. But that's what I would expect. I would expect mid lane. Bot lane is an option as well, as they do have the ability to take down that full turret, as that's where the Jarvan is right now. And with something like the Tristana that does have the explosive charge and the ability to dive with the Leona now that they're both level 6, it could be a good option as well. The one place I don't expect it is top, just because there's really nothing to take up there. Making the lane longer really only helps the Skarner farm safer and not be overextended into the Mordekaiser. But it looks like for now, it looks like the jungler is just content for CW to just continue farming and maybe look for an opportunity closer to the dragon. Both teams fairly even right now. DZG is squirming by with about a 1.5k gold lead. Trajan now with those 4 kills that he picked up is going to be the first person to hit Mythic here with that Gore Drinker. Going to provide a lot more survivability and sustainability in these team fights and objective fights. Ultimates are available for DZG. Mobster Penguin really the only one who does not have the Destiny's Gate just yet. However, it is going to be available before this next dragon, so they might be looking for a pick. If I'm DZG, I'm looking for a pick before this next dragon comes up. It's up in a minute 15. Herald is still something that they need to worry about, as Shady Gecko is going to be able to secure that Herald, or I'm sorry, that Scuttle Crab with the Smite, And this might be where they look to drop this Herald into the mid lane, as Shady Gecko making his way over now. So DZG really needs to look for an opportunity to potentially find a pick and find a way of securing a numbers advantage before this next dragon. Teleport not available on Tony top lane, is available on Pagarok, I'm sorry. So it is going to be up to Tony to really keep track of where Pagarok goes and not allow this team, or not allow this dragon to be forced into a numbers advantage into a 5v4. And it does look like he's going to be looking to secure some of these jungle camps, as it looks like DZG might get flanked here. It looks like Shady Geckos might be coming from behind. It is going to be a 3v4 situation, potentially, or 3v3 situation up here. Trajan going to spot Destiny coming through. The flag and drag not going to be enough to get over that wall. It's going to be forcing out the flash by Shady Gecko, but it is going to be a very big ultimate used here early for just the jungler flash. We're going to have to see what DZ can translate this into, as this Rift Herald is going to be dropped right before this dragon spawns, just like was mentioned. They're going to be able to secure a couple plates here and can threaten the turret. The turret only going to be left on 1.5 plates here, but it looks like that's all CW wants. Pepsi of Time kind of overextended here, a little further ahead than his tanks. It's really up to CW if they want to pull the trigger here. Featherstorm is available, however, so a Leon ulti might not be enough. DZG a bit split here, looking to maybe clear up some vision before this dragon. The call, not certain of whether or not this dragon is the play here. A lot of pressure being dragged in the top lane. The Cataclysm is going to go down, lock up Trajan and Pepsi of Time. That's going to be a lot of CC. Featherstorm going the wrong way. Support is going to pick up the first kill on the Shady Gecko. The Death Realm is going to be used on Pepsi of Time. Not going to be able to get out of there. He's going to pick up a kill. That's going to be a 1-for-1 so far. Pagarok, though, on the wrong side of his team right now. Pagarok might get bursted down here. Trajan going to go unstoppable at 5-0-1. So far, 2-1 for DZG, and it looks like that's all she wrote. Is they're going to be able to secure this Infernal Drake and put themselves one step closer onto this soul point. Helper is here, though, maybe looking to do something, but without their jungle available, then there's really not much they could do. They're going to trade this second dragon for a little bit more pressure in the mid lane, and DZG finding another successful team fight. Another kill, another 2 kills going on to, or another kill, I'm sorry, going on to Trajan. This other kill going on to support. Still not on the carries, but overall, a really good fight for DZG.
It was. They played that really well. No, it looked like nobody really died there. I do see they did get 1 kill at some point.
Yeah, good interrupt here. Trajan eating a lot of damage here. Is going to get ignited and fully stacked explosive charge. Is going to be able to survive there thanks to that Gore Drinker sustain. But a little overzealous here by DZG trying to follow up on Evil Zera. But yeah, like you were saying, you're not wrong. It was a pretty good fight and a couple of kills picked up.
Yeah, this time I feel like Olympus is positioning much safer. They're taking the lead, they're taking it, they're running with it, and they're doing good so far at not giving it up. So here's to hoping that they can keep the lead running for them.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's really just what they can do right now. I mean, they're still sitting at a little under 2K, so about a 1.5K gold lead. They're doing their best right now to kind of do what they can. I mean, they're like you said, they're playing a slow game. They're not necessarily looking to extend these leads super hard. They're not playing to, they're hopefully not over-aggressing at any point, as we saw a little bit of that potential in the bot lane. But they're able to take this control right now and just keep going at a pace where they can secure dragons, they can secure maybe the next Herald, potentially set up for a good soul point to put themselves to a point where CW has to look for something. But right now, they're providing enough time for their carries to scale up. Evil Zera on the side of CW hitting Mythic before Pepsi of Time here, just on, I guess, CS Gold alone, going to be making up a bit of that. I mean, it is going to be the picking up before finishing up the Greaves. So, I mean, Pepsi of Time did opt to pick up the full Greaves before picking up his Mythic, so it does mean that Evil Zera currently has a little bit of advantage. Teleport used in the mid lane by Twisted Fate to secure this turret and make sure that CW cannot take the first turret. Herald is up and available. Trajan might get caught out here as he is going to find Shady Gecko. Shady Gecko going to be forced to flag and drag across, though, and DZG might be looking to secure the second Herald. This is, once again, going to be a 4v4. Both AD carries opting to be on the bot side of the map. Trajan might be face-checking into something here. Shady Gecko quite patient here. This is a 3v2. Is going to opt to back away. Pagarok might be on the wrong side here, though, as the Trundle Pillar is going to knock him down. The Death Realm is going to go in. Trajan, though, is going to have an easy time fighting him here. Pagarok might have taken a bit more than he could chew here. He's eating a lot of damage. Flag and drag onto 3 people, though. The Battle Dance is going to come through. There's going to be a first kill picked up by Trajan. A good knock-up here by support. The Cataclysm buying a lot of space, though. Shady Gecko eating a lot of damage. Mobster Penguin in here as well. That's going to be another kill picked up by Tony Little. Helper also going to be Trundle Pillared here. Does have flash available. Is going to be able to flash and use the Blast Plant to get away. Going to be able to knock him away before any of the CC could come from Tony Little. And that's going to be a 2 for 0 for the side of DZG. Another really good good scuffle in the in the river that's going to secure them another neutral objective in the second Rift Herald.
They're doing really, really well right now. Like, these rotations this time around are so much more clean. They're going straight from the Dragon, getting another good fight, going right to the Rift Herald, and now they're going to take it, and hopefully they're going to be able to push down mid with that, because I think opening up mid right now is a really big deal, since that's so much pressure on the map that they have to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not wrong. I mean, clearing up that mid lane is always the greatest option. Top lane, it looked like that might have been a thought, but again, opening up top lane is always a bit riskier as it does provide a longer lane. It would allow Pagarop the option to start freezing some lanes, or to start freezing the top lane and really try to just suffocate Tony from a lot of CS and a lot of resources. But it looks like they're going to opt to not do anything with the Rift Herald just yet, but opening up mid would be a really strong option, especially with this next Dragon coming up in a minute and 15 seconds. Having that looming threat of breaking open the mid lane turret might be what they're looking for. Tony Little should have teleport coming up shortly. I believe we'll be up before this Rift Herald spawn. I'm sorry, before this Dragon spawns. Well, Pagarok will not have it available. If Pagarok wants to join the fight, he will have to start shoving this wave and will have to start walking down to join his team. Dragon in another 50 seconds. Looks like DZG is trying to pick up as many resources as they can. Have already taken some backs. Are going to be up a mythic, at least in the top lane. But for the ones that matter right now, the 3v3 between the mid, jungle, and AD, all of them sitting on mythics now. Xayah was able to pick up hers as well. DZG playing aggressive, trying to get vision in the enemy jungler, trying to secure as much vision as possible. Shady Gecko might be looking for something here in the mid lane, though, as they may be looking to secure this mid lane turret before this Herald, or before this Dragon spawns. Man, I am obsessed with Herald. But it looks like that's not going to happen, as they're going to opt to give up this mid lane pressure, and DCG looking to continue to set up as much vision as possible. Still have the Rift Herald available. They can still drop this before the Dragon spawns in the next 15 seconds, but they're going to opt to just try to burst this Dragon down. Teleport is available for Tony Little. Pagarok is already making his way down to the mid lane. He is still about another 10 to 15 seconds away. Mobster Penguin might get collapsed on here, but no, actually, it's going to be evilzera who's going to get pillared away, but they're going to be able to secure this mid lane turret. Teleport coming through. The Cataclysm going to come onto Mobster Penguin. He's going to get locked up. Teleport's going to be interrupted, though, because the turret's going to be taken away, and that's going to be a really solid pickup by CW here. Might dissuade this Dragon altogether. Teleport not available by Tony Little, as he did teleport to that dying turret. This is going to be a 3v4 situation, a 3v5 situation. They're trying to burst this Dragon down as fast as possible. Smite is here. Realm Warp coming through. Pagarok maybe looking to pick up the jungle here. A really strong battle dance. The flash is going to come through. That is going to be the Death Realm picked up by Trajan. That is going to be the Dragon stolen. Perhaps you have time not having any backup whatsoever is going to get taken down. Trajan going to have to forcing the flash here. Shady Gecko, the Flag and Drag is available. Is going to knock him up. evilzera is going to be donated over the kill, and that's going to be a shutdown. A massive one at that. A 600 gold shutdown picked up by evilzera. And all of a sudden, CW have some life, have turned the table, and have now taken their first gold lead of the game, along with their first Dragon.
That was a very unfortunate fight for Olympus right there. And now that CW has found their way back into the game, now we're playing the game of who's going to be able to snowball this game back. Will Olympus come back from the mistake, or is CW now going to start snowballing like they did last game?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, this is the team fight that CW wanted. This is the opportunity that they've been looking for. Up until this point, DZG has done a good job to slow the game down, to not give over any kills, and to not allow CW to really play the game, which was a team fight. But unfortunately, that pick in the mid lane was just what they needed to be able to rotate those numbers advantage and really find what they needed. And again, if DZG does not find a pick, then it puts them in a disadvantage for sure, as they are looking for something here. Gold card's going to land. The jump is not going to be enough. Is going to be forcing out the flash out of evilzera, and that is going to be a pick attempt, a very good one at that, forcing the flash and the heal off of evilzera just for the Destiny's Gate alone from Mobster Penguin. And that is a good setup there by DZG, and potentially going to put him in a good advantage, as the Tristana will not have flash available for the next Dragon, nor the Baron that is available now.
I'm thinking that maybe with Tristana's flash down, maybe they could try and instigate a fight over the Baron. Just try it, not actually go for it, but definitely try and bait it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, it is definitely something that they can look to do. They can look to start pressuring this Baron. They can't necessarily do it, much like you mentioned, but they can definitely threaten. Right now, Mobster Penguin is going to be in the bot lane unattended. He is going to be able to take down this first tier 1 turret. However, he did take 2 turret shots here, and Dictator Scruff, not too far off of him, might be able to land the pick here, or might be able to use the Everfrost, but instead it's going to be able to get away. The Grand Entrance not going to be enough. Perhaps you have time, going to eat an explosive charge onto his face, and this 3v3 not working so far. Tony Little's going to get spotted here. The flash is going to come out. Not going to be enough, though, as the evilzera is going to be able to buffer the rocket jump away, and that's going to be flash and the battle dance used by support here on the Rakan. Unfortunately, Tony Little was spotted here by the ward in the middle of the lane. This is potentially a 5v4 situation. Mordekaiser's here as well. 5v5. The Solar Flare going to land onto Trajan. Trajan's rooted up. Is not going to be able to do much more. That's going to be a 1-for-1 so far. Both junglers going down to both mid laners, and that seems to be good enough for them as both teams looking to disengage here. And that was not as great as you would see. I think that CW favors this a little bit more, as that is another kill picked up onto the Fed jungler of DZG Olympus. That is their strongest member, and right now, I mean, it's going to give CW a little bit more time to pick up some resources. And it is going to be another kill picked up by Dictator Scruff in the mid lane, as well as the first kill from Officer Penguin. Both these mid laners looking to get as close as possible to their next item. Dragon up in another 2 minutes. DZG looking to control this bot lane vision right now, as they do have a couple wards available to them. But CW does have wards available to them as well inside of DZG's blue side jungle. So it does make it so that they will know what side they're approaching from. All laners really just going back to lanes, looking to soak up as many resources as they can. Teleports will be available for Pagarok and should be available for Tony Little before the dragon spawns. So both top laners are content going to this top lane, while the rest of the team are trying to pick up lane pressure in the mid and the bot lane.
We're in that slow little lull right now to start preparing for the next objectives to come up. And since they're coming up so soon, there's not a whole lot of time. They need to start focusing on getting those last backs in with a minute left for the dragon spawn. This next one is a big one for Olympus, putting them next to their soul point. Hopefully they can get this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Pagarok here is going to force to use the Death Ram on a Tony Little. What this seemed like Trajan was not able to use his ultimate before then. Tony Little doing his best to survive here, is potentially going to be able to get away, is sustaining a little bit more, and that is going to be the kill picked up by Trajan onto Mordekaiser. That is going to be the numbers advantage that DZG is going to be looking forward to obtaining, but will they make it in time to contest this dragon? It seems like DZG might not be looking to contest this, as the jungler and top lane for DZG are looking to just start pushing up this top lane, but the engage is coming through. Shady Gecko going to be able to use the Flag and Drag and then the Cataclysm immediately. Evil Zara going to go ahead and go in, jumping in. The Featherstorm was used already, but Evil Zara, not long for the world, going to get punished very heavily, but so is Mobster Penguin as he goes in. The Flag and Drag is available. Fantastic flash. Flag and Drag by the side of Shady Gecko is going to pick up Pepsi of Time. That's going to be effectively a 2-for-2 for both teams. However, it does seem like CW are going to be giving up this top lane tier 2 turret. However, they will be trading it for the dragon, which is the Earth Dragon. That's their going to be their second one. And if you're DZG, you're going to start getting a little bit worried about giving up these dragons. Mountain Soul, one of those few that you don't want to give up too many, as it does provide a lot of resistances over time, and it does put CW in a position where they can start contesting the next couple. And if they get to the point where they get to 3 Mountain Drakes, it's going to be really hard to start bursting down some of these targets that DZG is looking for with their pickability, with the Destiny's Gate, with the Impale, with the Rakan Battle Dance and Grand Entrance. It might not be enough to burst down some of these targets if they pick up another one of these Mountain Drakes. But overall, I mean, it's still a solid trade if you feel like you can't pick up this dragon. 2 turrets for 1 dragon, not bad at all. As we're seeing a couple more item buys as well. We're seeing a second item come in for both mid laners, second item coming out for jungle and top for DZG, not matched just yet by the top and jungle for the side of CW. However, where the advantage lies is in this bot lane. Evil Zara now at a second item, picked up that Dominic's Regard, and is sitting now also on the Executioner's Blade to start mitigating some of that self-healing that the Trundle, the Skarner, the Xayah are going to have. And the Xayah, unfortunately, still working on picking up that Essence Reaver second. So it is going to be a little difficult for DZG. They're going to have to start funneling a little bit more resource into their Xayah so that they can start matching up with what Evil Zara is putting out.
My concern right now is that Olympus has taken too long to close out this game. And because they've taken too long, that they're going to end up losing this game, as CW keeps scaling more and more and more into this late game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, this late game is favored in the side, or is favored for the side of CW. They do have the Rise, which scales very, a little bit stronger than the Twisted Fate in the mid lane. However, it is one of these hyperscaling mid laners. Tristana, also hyperscaling AD with already some advantages, as it looks like CW is going to be looking to take this top lane tier 1 turret. Tony Little going to be doing his best to kind of mitigate this. Teleport coming through as well. This is effectively a 4v2 right here. Trajan's going to get knocked up by the Solar Flare, but it's not going to be enough. Helpers might be on the wrong side of this, eating a lot of damage here. Flash coming through. Trajan's doing his best, but that is going to be locked up by the Cataclysm. That's 1-for-1 so far. Evil Zara there, though, is going to pick up 2 kills by Evil Scruff. That's going to be a 2-for-2 right now. That's going to be a 2-for-2 now. Is and a 3 for 2 as it looks like the bot lane of DZG are going to be forced to disengage here. The pick onto Tony Little opened up a lot of possibilities here for the side of CW, as they are going to take 3 kills. They're going to take this top lane turret and can potentially threaten this Baron, and that's exactly where they're going to go. I mean, they have the damage available. Dictator Scruff sitting on 2.5 items. The Tristana sitting on 2.5 items. It's really just how long can Shady Gecko last and how well can they juggle this aggro, but they can burn through this. It is really just on DZG's bot lane to try to spot this out. Shady Gecko going to be forced to back away and pick up that plant. It is going to get spotted. 2k, 15k. The smite is available, and if they bring it down to 9, it's going to be the smite, and that is going to be the secure by Shady Gecko. DZG were just not fast enough to react and did not feel confident enough to take that 2v3, and that is going to be the Baron secured 2 minutes before this next dragon spawns.
This game, we're starting to teeter dangerously into we're losing our tempo from the side of Olympus, and I'm a little worried they might not be able to recover their tempo this time around.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, we're seeing a lot of non-reactionary, I guess, more planned out plays, proactive plays by the side of CW. I mean, they're willing to commit resources like the teleport, like the dive ability, and they're able to start securing some of these objectives before DZG can, and they're taking fights before DZG can react. Even though they have the global presence from the Twisted Fate, they're able to rotate a little bit quicker than DZG are able to, and they're sending numbers advantage to secure these last outer turrets and being able to open up the map more. It also doesn't help that a lot of this money and gold is on this Trundle. However, Shady Gecko's going to get caught out here. He's going to be forced to expend the stopwatch here. Featherstorm used here. Not a big fan of that, as Shady Gecko's going to be able to flash. Not a fan of the flash either, as, I mean, you can try to get away, but there's 2 turrets in your way. You're also getting pinched here. The flash not looking to be like the right choice here. Shady Gecko going to go down. Trajan picking up his 9th kill of the game. Toy Little's actually going to find Scruff here. He's going to be able to use the Impale. The flash going to come through. The Realm Warp is still available, however, there is really no knockup available just yet. Support taking a lot of damage here. Dictator Scruff sitting on 3 damage. That is going to be the kill. Helper 08's going to go in just a little too late. Evil Zara, though, is here and available. They can turn this around, but Pepsi of Time is going to dissuade that along with Mobster Penguin. Helper looking to see what he can pick up here. Support going to be using that Gret entrance to get away, and that's going to be effectively a 3 for 0 for the side of DZG. That's actually going to be a 4 for 0 for the side of DZG, as it was Mobster Penguin and Pepsi of Time that were able to pick up Evil Zara. So that's a really big throw and a really good pick from the side of DZG, and a throw from CW, is that's going to be 4 kills being given over. It's going to allow DZG to set up for this dragon that's coming up in 26 seconds, and it's going to put them one step closer to picking up this Mountain Drake. Right now, it's really up to DZG how fast they can push this through, and if they can make it to this dragon. Dictator Scruff does have teleport available, will have the Realm Warp available as well. Helper coming up in 8 seconds, so Helper will be up before this dragon spawns, and so will Scruff, so Scruff can TP. Pagarok is sitting in the wings, though. It is going to be a 5v2 situation. Shady Gecko not necessarily looking to get in here anytime soon. There is a ward in the pit, though, so they are going to get spotted. It looks like they're going to go ahead and give this up. CW feeling like, you know what, we're probably not going to expend our teleport here. We don't have Baron except for on Mordekaiser, and that's probably going to be expended shortly, and there's not much more they can do. They're going to be willing to give this up. It does put DZG Olympus on Soul Point, and this is exactly what we need to see in order for them to pick back up on where they left off and start getting control of this game.
I feel like we'll start playing a game of catch here, with the ball going back and forth and back and forth. It looked like they were slipping for a second there, but they're starting to show signs of recovery. So let's see if they can keep themselves on the path of recovery.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were able to get a couple of kills onto some key members. Trajan did pick up 2 of them, but 2 of them were picked up by some carries. I think Pepsi Time was able to pick up his first kill. Twisted Fate was able to pick up another one. We're seeing some items coming through now. Pepsi Time still being the one that's a little bit behind compared to his counterpart. Evil Zara also has the Guardian Angel available now to him now. Is sitting on 3.5 items. Pepsi of Time sitting on 2.5 items, or 2 and like 2 halves, because the cloak will go into something else. So it's really just reliant on, again, I feel like if they can give more resources to Pepsi Time to get him to 3 items, this is where you need to be. Twisted Fate's really just a gold card bot right now. He's looking to, he does have burst available, but he really needs to look to just land this pick potential and really just create enough space for Pepsi of Time to really do what he needs to do, which is DPS. Trundle is there to just 1v1, but Monster Penguin might get picked out here. Does not have flash available to get out of this Cataclysm. Tries to use the Destiny's Gate, not going to be enough. Teleport coming in by Tony Little from the top lane. And it is not going to be enough. That is going to be a pick onto CW. It does not look like they have the minion wave available just yet. However, it does look like they're trying to race against time, as the bot lane of DZG is looking to take this mid lane turret. It does look like Trundle did back. They are going to be looking to hold this inhibitor turret in the bot lane, but DZG's bot lane's not stopping yet. They are continuing to push. They are going to get the tier 2 turret, but it is going to be a hard engage on this bot lane. That is going to be the shutdown picked up, and that's going to be 2 kills picked up by CW, and they took the numbers advantage. They knew what they could do. They were just willing to pull the trigger. And it looks like they might be going for game here. It is going to be the bot lane against the world. 4v2 situation. The Feather Storm going to come through. Not going to be enough. Evil Zara is going to jump in. 2 knock-up right here. That's going to be 2. Not even 1 kill left. Evil Zara living on a prayer. Is going to take down Pepsi of Time. Dictator Scruff, his support. Going to be trying his best. Mobster Penguin is alive now. That is going to be the GA popped onto Evil Zara. Mobster Penguin getting locked down. That's going to be the teleport coming through. That's going to be the 5v1 situation. Mobster Penguin not long for this world. And that's going to be a base race of anything, and that's going to be a 2-0 Catalyst Wraith ending DZG Olympus season and playoff hopes.
Oh, that was just a gamble that I don't think they should have taken there, especially with the state of the game where it is. Really unfortunate to see, but they definitely played a lot better this game than the last game.
Yeah, they definitely showed a bit more signs of life. They had opportunities. They didn't allow for CW to really run away with the early game. They had a lot of presence, both in rotations as well as early kills and early objective taking. It looks like they learned a little bit from game 1, but unfortunately it was not enough. And CW was able to find opportunities that you would feel that they shouldn't, especially, when it started with that dragon fight that they were to pick up 4 kills and that first dragon. And while it showed that DZG had a little bit of life left in them when they found those 4 kills in the top lane, it just was not enough. And when faced with a 4v2 situation, CW was able to pull the trigger and was able to find the kills they needed to close out this game.
As unfortunate as it is, though, they did their best. It was a very commendable effort, and honestly, that second game was a much better showing for them as well. They
Yeah,
did much better. They just sadly took some fights that weren't so optimal. And because of that, they ended up throwing the lead, and then they ended up having to play tug of war for it.
yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, it was a good showing nonetheless. It definitely pulled on some heartstrings, and you thought we were going to take this to game 3. So I mean, kudos to DZG for a a good season. They got to play-ins. They were able to take these games, and they're only going to come back stronger after the season. I mean, it's a lot of these players' first season together, so they're really just looking to build from here, and there'll be some more opportunities in the future, I'm sure. Um, but aside from that, I mean, that's going to be the end of our broadcast. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tune in next week as we will have DZG Elysium and DZG Tartarus playing in week. Oh, I'm sorry. Tomorrow tomorrow DZG Tartarus will be playing in their playoffs race. So they'll be playing some friendlies against a couple teams to kind of see where they match up for their seeding in playoffs. So come back tomorrow. We'll have some more action for you guys. But thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Woohoo!
You guys are good? Yeah. Yeah, you guys have a free